What is up, my friends? Welcome back to another video. Today we are taking a look at another CineSamples library called CineHarps. And this library was basically an update to their original CineHarp, which was their very first library back all the way in, I think it was 2009 or 2010 when they first came out to the market. But I wanted to share this library with you because CineHarps is one of my most used libraries in my template. And the fact that it's so easy to use, it has a beautiful sound, and just the instant results that you get and inspiration makes it a must-have for my cases. And I wanted to share this video with you so it gives you a sense of what I like to use, and hopefully gives you, an idea of what it sounds like, and maybe you can consider it for your next purchase if you need another harp or need a first harp. But before we get into the patches and what it sounds like, feel free to check out the sample library buyer's guide in the description box below. It's a totally free guide that goes over everything that I like to use on a regular basis for my music. And it's really to answer the question of what I like to use on a regular basis. That question never stops, So if you're curious about like the libraries I use and the different prices and organized by different sections, that I've basically worked it all out for you, so you can download it right away and check it out and read it within a single sitting. So, just feel free to download that whenever you like. But anyway, let's kind of get into the harp a little bit, and I'll show you the patches that I regularly use the most, which are the concert harp and the harp glissandi. And I haven't really used the Harp 2 and Harp 3 yet, but these are two other harps that CineSamples also recorded on the MGM scoring stage. And then having the harp glissandi ad lib is also very nice because they basically play the glissando until the performer, or until they stop. But I believe CineSamples looped this glissandi over and over so that you can hold it for as long as you want, and it continues on until you let go, which is really cool. So yeah, let's play a little bit and give you a sense of what the library sounds like. Here we go. So you can hear it's a very resonant, beautiful sound, and there's some like clarity to the overall sound. Like you can really hear the plucking of the strings in the instrument itself, the way the performer kind of plays it. It's a very resonant and clean sound. Now the harp glissandi is one of my favorites, like I mentioned, because they have a bunch of pre-recorded glissandi, and it's kind of split over 4 octaves. So at the low octave, you kind of have like a 1 octave rising glissando. Then you have 1 octave descending, then you have ascending, but it's like 2 octaves or more, and then you have descending, which is like 2 octaves or more as well. So they kind of expand as you go higher on the keyboard. So let's try some of these out in different keys as well. So this is C major. Okay, so interestingly, they call these half diminished, but a lot of these are actually dominant 7s. So I believe they must have just misnamed it or something, but that's okay. Some of them are still half diminished too. But that's actually the first time I've used the half diminished glissandi personally. Usually I just stick with a major or minor whenever I need them. Let's hear the whole tone as well. Yeah, and you can see the sample just loops over and over and over until you basically release the key. But yeah, I mean, again, CineSamples to me is really easy to use. In general, their libraries have a very intuitive quality to them. I'll admit, like when I first got the first libraries, like I got Cinebrass and Cinewind or Cinestrings, for example. It kind of took me a while to kind of get used to the interface. I really hadn't used any virtual instruments up to that point. So kind of looking at the different microphone positions and looking at the mixer presets, I was kind of like, what's going on? Like what's the M and the S and all that? But once you kind of understand how the basic layout of a GUI works, it becomes pretty self-explanatory. And the fact that they don't give you an overly abundant amount of presets makes it pretty easy to use as well. So you have the different scales, which you can activate via key switches, and then in terms of the actual notes that you can play, they're all in the playable blue range here as well. So you have the actual keys. Oh, sorry, the type of scales. Then you have the length of the glissandi, and then you have the actual keys, like scales. So C major, D major, G major. Interesting way of mapping, but hey, that's how they do it, and I'm totally fine with that. Just something to get used to. Yeah, and those are pretty much the only patches that I would use in this library personally for my own work. But if you're interested in checking out all the different patches, check out Mike Petty's walkthrough over on the CineSamples channel. He'll give you a sense of all the different patches and what they come included with. But for me personally, I pretty much use the concert harp and the harp glissandi the most, these two patches, because I'd rather have a pre-recorded glissandi that sounds just so much more natural than having myself play it in and not having it sound as natural and not having it performed live. Not a deal breaker, but if you do want to perform it yourself live, you can certainly do so with a concert harp patch. You can just adjust the notes to what you want. So if you play an E on the keyboard, you're going to get an E sharp, right? Bring it down to E, then you get an E again. So you're basically changing like the pedals. So if I play the notes now. Gliss mode is really cool too. I think you can actually like drag your hand across the keyboard and do it. So anyway, a little bit of flexibility there too, right? So you can change the notes accordingly. So if you just want to play the white notes and do a glissando with your fingers, then you can certainly do that and get the correct scale that you're looking for. So you can have a lot of fun with the library. I certainly do. But I like to keep things simple, and I really only use the first two patches. Again, if you're writing more detailed harp music, you might find that you want more options, and you do get them here as well. So if you have any questions about the library, you can let me know in a comment below. I'll try to get back to you on that. And if you do own the library, let me know if you use it frequently. Do you enjoy using it? Does it have the sound you're looking for? And if you don't own the library, let me know if this is one that you're considering, or if you maybe own another harp library, but you're thinking about owning this one. Did this kind of give you a better idea of what it sounds like? So let me know. I'd love to know in a comment below. And before you go, I want to give you my sample library buyer's guide once again. Again, it's like a totally free guide combining all my favorite libraries into one document. Super easy to read and go through. And as my gift to you for watching this video. So thank you very much for sticking around, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care, my friends. Bye-bye.